Hey, this is Notser, and this is the Tier 8 Japanese cruiser Mogami. In my review, I didn't show the 155mm guns in action. This will rectify that issue. So, right off the bat, it's the map Ocean. I spawned in the center, and I'm moving north with my team. Usually on the ocean map, it's very zergy, very clumpy. The whole team will go one direction. You don't want to spread out and get picked off. I like the idea of the ocean map with smoke and the objective and each class of ship being able to bring their own strength to the team, but it really turns into people don't want to put any effort into considering a strategy so we all go the same direction. And if you run into the enemy team and you don't know how to deal with them if they're in a ball, that smaller group gets destroyed by the larger group. So I chose to stay near battleships because the enemy does have a carrier. Carriers will provide spotting information, and they will look for an isolated ship and take it out. And usually that's a battleship, or it's your carrier. So I found the highest tier battleship, and I started sailing towards them. The Mogami is a very fast ship, so she can keep up with any battleship outside of, maybe the Congo, but you have to be a really fast battleship to get away from her. So our friendly destroyer has spotted that the enemy has also moved north. This could be a little interesting, but he's so far forward, I don't think anyone but battleships have range on the enemy. So I'm just continuing on towards the north, get range, maybe start going after that enemy cruiser that's forward. If you are in a situation on ocean that you spawn and you outrun your team, it's highly likely that you will be chosen to die. Everyone focus fires the enemy if they overextend, and boom, you're dead. So I noticed that I'm being detected, and it's the surface detection warning. So something is close that is sailing on the ocean water, and there you are. It was a enemy destroyer. Interesting. So he chose to sail forward of his team and provide spotting information. Well, unfortunately for him, I had situational awareness. I told my carrier, who's in comms with me, to go forward and have his aircraft spot, which they did. And now that he has put out his smoke, he is trying to sail away. Well, if you keep your aircraft on the opposite side and in the direction of the destroyer sailing, it will be as if he's sailing towards your ship and dropping smoke. The smoke is ineffective because it's coming out behind the ship. So the aircraft are what's spotting the ship, the enemy destroyer for me. And because the 155mm have 15 guns, it's just a hail of bullets going out at the enemy. It's great. It reminds me of the Cleveland. At the Mogami, at Tier 7 made sense from the standpoint that you upgraded your cannons from 155mm to 203mm, whereas the Mayoko is stuck with 203. Now, the Mogami is probably more well-known. It's also, I believe it's a longer ship, so it makes sense that it's probably a higher tier, but from the gun perspective, the smaller caliber makes sense early on. The U.S., Cleveland's the last ship with a caliber under 200mm. They up the guns, and boom, so the rate of fire starts to slow down with those guns, and obviously you have to aim better. So the enemy destroyers chose to go straight to our base and try and quick cap. We are overextended to the northeast side. We are very far away from home. So I decide to sail back, and I'm trying to, warn people that we really need to make an effort to stop this cap. Because this is the best way for them to win. Right now, we've killed one of their destroyers. We have an advantage where we are looking to kill this enemy battleship because he's overextended against our cruisers in the north. And we also have a higher tier carrier. So we have just a stronger team, in my opinion, based on the lineup that was brought to us. We're about 50% of the way through the cap. We've killed one of the destroyers, and friendly cruisers in the north just killed that enemy battleship, so we have a 3-ship advantage. But they could kill the friendly destroyer that's in front of me, and they would have no spotting information if they took out the aircraft that are flying overhead. So it's very important that we make full effort to stop this cap, or we just lose the game outright. Now, I saw this cruiser, he took a shortcut, he didn't pull back, he's close. So I'm just shooting my cooldowns. It's very important, if you have a setup that takes advantage of DPM, you need to take advantage of it. You need to find a target and use that cooldown. And that's exactly what I do. I find a target that I can fire. That destroyer went hidden before I could use my cooldown. The turret rotation is a little bit slower than the 203 millimeters, but the superior DPM is just too good to pass up. Especially with HE in the way it works right now. If you land a lot of shots just like that, 11 of the 15 shots land, and if they land near the superstructure, you're doing a lot of module damage, you're doing a lot of ballistic, explosive damage. That's really where you want to hit your HE rounds. It needs to be above the side of the hull and on top where the AA, the turrets, the people would be. So there's 2 or 3 ships in range, and I just send out my torpedoes in an effort to widespread. Maybe I'll hit 1 or 2, and I noticed right away this friendly Alba was trying to assassinate me. I just couldn't believe that he would launch his torpedoes with me that close, but we were able to slow down just in time, so we only took 1, thankfully. I tried to screen the Alba and make them more interested in me, but he was so low they just finished him off. So I'm down here by myself. This is very dangerous for me. My objective is to survive. So this enemy battleship is in the cap. As long as I'm firing on him, he's losing cap points. The 2 ways to generate lots of XP in this game is damage and capture denial. You will see at the end of this game that there was a lot of points awarded for the damage I'm able to do with these 155mm guns, and every time I'm landing rounds, I'm taking cap points off of their progress. So it looks like he's on fire, which is good for us. Set him on fire too. He probably doesn't have his damage control because of the first fire. It's very hard on his battleship right now to not be on fire constantly. The combination of HE rounds and the high cooldown makes it really difficult to use your damage control to protect yourself from all the HE fire. And he dies. I believe that friendly cruiser finished him off. We did a lot of damage to him. You know what? It's whatever. Kills are kills. I don't care if I get the tag for it or not. When we switch to the next target, we get a lot of the rounds to land on a superstructure, and we do a lot of damage because of that. We set him on fire with that. And because of the way the sun is hitting the water, it looks like he can't put it out. So he's stuck burning. That's a dot for us. We want to land these shots so they do maximum damage. 12 shots land, but they do minimum damage. That means that the AG rounds probably didn't land on the citadel or the turrets on top. It's landing on the side and not doing as much damage as it could have. There we go. We're able to do pretty good damage, friendlies do damage. And he's got like 3 or 4 deck fires and he dies. Cool. So there's only 2 enemies left. And I noticed too late to react that I'm going to collide with this Warspite. We're going to form a T. Initially I was like, I should stop. I'm not going to stop in time. I should go. So we move forward. It's just the way it goes. These ships are so big. You know, it's how it goes. So now that we dealt with moving out of his way, I feel awful. Just need to land shots on this Fuso. And we're detected because we fire. It's no big deal. And we're trying to rotate so all 5 of our turrets can fire. It's very important that you take advantage of your DPM. In real warfare, the ship that can fire full broadside has an immense advantage. And just look at all these rounds. We set him on fire. He's burning pretty good. He probably doesn't have damage control because he hasn't put it out since then. We land a lot of shots in the front and we're overshooting a little bit. Oh man, he just got wiped out. Probably by that battleship. Probably a big AP shot. So just a enemy destroyer. We're not going to get there in time. But this game was a good example of the 155mm guns. High rate of fire, it feels a lot like the Cleveland. Plus you get the bonus of the torpedoes. And the Mogami is a really good ship. Really, really good ship. I hope you guys enjoyed looking at the 155mm variant for the Mogami, and I'll catch you guys next time.